What's going on, guys? Zennosh here, and today I'm bringing this video to you guys about the top 10 tanks in the game of Heir of Light. Yes, finally it's here after the suggestion from so many subscribers. Anyways, before starting this video, I would really love to recommend you guys to subscribe to my channel, and please leave your views and opinions in the comment section below after this video, and please consider donating to this channel to help this channel grow. And now let's get this started. In number 10, we have Fire Ram. Yes, Fire Ram. Let's look into her passive skill, okay? Increases resist by 30%, pretty good, and reduces damage received by all allies by 30% for the duration of the taunt. So as long as the taunt is active, meaning her fast skill, right? Taunts the enemy for 15 seconds, 70% chance of removing one buff from the enemy. Yes, with that taunt duration, she is gonna make sure that all the allies are gonna receive 30% less damage, right? So that is good. That is good. And the team passive, defense of all element allies increases by 45% at the dungeon. Pretty good. And the second skill, Hot Stunner, increases caster's defense by 60 seconds. Level 5, reflects damage casters receive for 30 seconds. Pretty awesome, okay? I mean, reflect damage, so it can actually add up to a damage, okay, against the opponents. And the next one is the Volcanic Shock. 70% chance of preventing all enemies from receiving buffs for 60 seconds, and yes, additionally this skill stuns the enemy as well. So it's really due to her passive skill, and her second skill, she's a pretty much a unique tank, okay? And in obviously in dungeon, that 45% of defense can be really helpful at times. And now let's move on to the number 9. In the number 9, we have Water Carmilla. Just look at her passive skill. The amount of damage received at once does not exceed 30% of max HP for the duration of the taunt. This is so important in PvP because like there are so many enemies in the like used in the PvP, like let's say Fire Zeta and any other death ignoring servants like Fire Ankou that can actually one shot kill you, okay, one hit KO you. So that can be a really big problem, but with this limitation of the damage received can actually help you tank more damage. But for this to happen, you need to make sure that the taunt is active, right? And you can activate the taunt by the first skill. Taunts the enemy for 15 seconds, 70% chance of reducing enemy attack for the 30 seconds. And guess what, there is a little bit more. Increases defense of all allies by 30 seconds for the duration of the leech, just like Fire Ram, right? But better. The second skill is right over here, grants caster leech buff for the 30 seconds and increases caster's defense for 60 seconds. That is so awesome, okay? And combo skill, protects the ally with the lowest HP for 60 seconds. Yes, protect meaning she is going to absorb all the damage that's going to be dealt to the another ally, okay? So I mean, like, pretty good tank. And if an ally Sphinx is present, HP increases by 100%, okay? And the next one is the team passive. Defense of all element allies increases by 45% at the PvP. So she is really PvP based servant, and it can actually be very limiting. Anyways, now let's move on to the number 8. In the number 8, we have Forest Ram. Yes, the Forest Ram, Lonesome Black Sheep. Let's look into a passive skill. Same like the Water Carmilla, the amount of damage received at once does not exceed 30% of the max HP for the duration of the taunt. Yes, 30% of max HP is pretty important when you are trying to fight against a death ignoring servants that can one shot KO you, okay, or a very high attack skill servants, okay? So that is pretty good, but in this case you really need to make sure that the taunt is active. The fast skill, make sure of that. Taunts the enemy for 15 seconds, increases the chance of glancing hit whenever an ally is attacked for 30 seconds, level 4, which is pretty good as well. Glancing hit, it will make you immune to the debuffs and it will make you receive less damage, so that is pretty good, right? And the next thing is the Hot Stunner. Increases caster defense by 60 seconds, level 5, and reflects damage caster receive for the 30 seconds. It will add up to the gradual damage, but with the additional increases defense of all allies by 30% during the reflect duration. That is so cool, okay? That is really cool tank. And the Volcanic Shock, 70% chance of preventing all allies from receiving buffs for 60 seconds. That is good. And yes, her combo skill stuns the enemy as well. And the team passive, speed of all element allies increases by 32% at dungeon. One of the best, the best stat in this game is the speed stat, right? And increased by 32% is always good. And in dungeons where we spend like a lot of life in the HOL, Heir of Light, right? So that is pretty good, right? So anyways, now let's move on to our number 7. In the number 7, we have Water Ankou, the Lost Harbinger. Okay, now let's move into, let's look into the passive skill. Increases caster's defense by 50%. Wow, that's good. When HP is below 70%, that is easy to attain, very easy to attain. Fight against the Omen and you shall receive it. Very easily. Team passive. Defense of all elemental allies increases by 45% at the dungeon. Pretty good. And the Garden Tomb, the combo skill, okay, grants resilience. Wow, now that's good to all allies for 15 seconds. Resilience is one of the best thing that a tank can have, because resilience allows him or the whole team to stick to that 1 HP, okay, just that 1 HP. They cannot be killed, okay, even though you are supposed to be dead, because you have already, a damage more than your HP has already been dealt, and you are supposed to die flat on the ground, but still you are there standing up for 15 seconds. And guess what, guys, in that 15 seconds you can actually use a very good healer to receive a massive amount of HP recovery, right? And you can get back to your feet in no time. And gradually heals HP of all allies for 15 seconds, level 5. That is so cool, guys. That is so cool. Okay, that is really cool. Just because of his combo skill, he is right here, and his passive skill is pretty good indeed. And the Death Finger, second skill, increases caster's defense for 60 seconds by level 5. Cliche, pretty good. And the first skill, Mortes, taunts the enemy for 15 seconds, pretty average, 70% chance to remove 1 buff from the enemy, which can be pretty good, right? Pretty good, pretty good. Okay, so team passive skill, especially his combo skill and his fast skill, those are really awesome thing. Okay, really awesome servant, really awesome servant. Now let's move on to the number 6. In the number 6, we have Water Valkyrja. Okay, she is a really awesome tank. Now I'm gonna tell you why. Just look at her passive. Decreases damage received by 50% right away. Any sort of damage? Yes. 50% reduction right away. That is so cool. And removes 1 debuff when a skill lands as critical hit. Wow, that is so cool, guys. That is so cool. Skill meaning like first skill, second skill, and the combo skill. Whatever the skill that she uses, if that managed to create a crit hit, then she is gonna remove 1 debuff. Okay, so that is so good. Heals caster's HP by 10% when using active skills. So active skills refers to the first skill and the second skill. Whenever she is using first skill or the second skill, boom, she is gonna have a 10% health recovery right away, right? So that is so cool, a very good recovery, right? And yes, if an ally Archangel is present, HP increases by 100%, pretty good. And the team passive, HP of all element allies increases by 45% at PvP. Okay. And Sword of Promise, her combo skill, okay, removes all debuffs from all allies. Debuff can be a pretty nasty thing for a tank, okay, especially that def down, okay, and those DOT damages, especially in the Omen's Void, that can be a pretty tank killer, okay. And with this one you have a really good a good chance at surviving the battle, and it does not only clear the debuff on the caster it's herself, but to the entire team. So this is so good, okay. 70% chance to reduce all enemy attack for 30 seconds by level 3. Pretty good. Second skill, Sword of Discharge, increases caster's defense for 60 seconds, level 5. Pretty good. Fast skill, Seal of Light, okay, increases caster's skill gauge by 10%. Wow, that is good. Caster's skill gauge meaning referring to fast skill, second skill, and the combo skill. Wow. And taunts the enemy for 20 seconds, right? Instead of just 15 seconds, that's 20 seconds. So that's pretty good. Oh my god, she is really awesome, especially in the Omen 10F and the Omen 11 floor. She is gonna rule. Okay, that is really good. And now anyways, let's move on to the number 5. In the number 5, we have Dark Simone. Okay, Simone, the Knight of Remorse. He's a dark tank, and let's start with his sweet combo skill, okay? Redemption. grants resilience to all allies for 15 seconds. Yes, just as I discussed before, resilience, one of the best skill that a tank can have, because it will make your allies stick to just 1 HP. They won't die for that 15 seconds. They are invincible. Okay, so in that 15 seconds, you can make your healer to make your allies or your team to recover the full health in no time, right? 70% chance of reducing speed of all enemies for 60 seconds, level 5. That is pretty good. So anyways, with that resilience, you can actually survive the omen, right? And 70% chance of reducing the speed of all enemies for 60 seconds. That is pretty good as well, and that's a level 5. Okay, so he's a enemy slower. Okay, I mean, he can slow them right away. Obviously, when you actually max this skill out, surely that 70% is gonna turn into 100%, right? Anyways, the second skill increases caster's defense for 60 seconds. Pretty good, level 5. And Soul Slash taunts the enemy for 20 seconds. Pretty good. 70% chance to decrease the enemy attack for 30 seconds by level 5. That is always good for a tank. Receiving less damage, you can tank more, right? And now let's move into his passive skill. Becomes immune to silence. Yes, with so many affordable and very good skills, you can actually make sure that you will always be using them, right? It reduces the skill gauge of all enemies by 20% upon using the active skills. Referring to the first and the second skill, whenever he is using the first and second skill, he is gonna make sure that the skill gauge of the enemies are gonna be reduced by 20%. First skill, second skill, boom boom, 40% of skill gauge reduction. That is so cool. That is so cool. Okay. And the team passive, okay, defense of all elemental allies increases by 45% at PvP. Yes, and just look at this team passive. I mean, like, this passive skill, guys. I mean, like, you can really spam it in the PvP content, right? Just making the enemy opponent team to have 40% skill gauge reduction. Oh my god, that is so cool. Okay, that is really good. It's like as if it's 100% activable, right? Like, it can be activated, and then 40% of total, like, skill gauge reduction. Wow, that is awesome. Okay, that is awesome. I mean, like, you can make the enemy lag behind in no time. Wow, that is good. That is good. Okay. Anyways, now let's move on to the number 4. In the number 4, we have Fire Simone. Yes, still the Simone, but the fire version. The Knight of Remorse, Fire Tank. Let's look into his combo skill again. Okay, grants resilience to all allies for 15 seconds. Pretty good, resilience, making your allies and your team to stick to just that 1 HP even though you are supposed to be dead for 15 seconds, and may the healer do the rest of the chore. Okay, so you are gonna spring back to life in no time. Gradually heals HP of all allies for 15 seconds, level 5, which is pretty good. Okay, I mean, like, this skill is gonna be really good in the Omen dungeon, right? I mean, like, the Omen with his, like, what do you call it? The Faltering Calamity. Yes, with that skill, you can actually survive that one, because, it can actually kill you out, KO out, right? Anyways, passive skill, okay, removes 1 debuff from caster upon using the active skills. Wow, that's good. If there are no debuffs to remove, grants immunity to all allies for 20 seconds. Oh my god, immunity? With that immunity, I mean, like, your team is gonna be immune to all sort of debuffs. So that is really good, right? That is good, that is good. As a tank, damn. With the passive skill, awesome, okay? And the team passive, HP of all element allies increases by 45% at wall rate. Wow. Just wow. Devastating Strike increases caster's defense for 60 seconds, level 5. That's good. Fast skill, Soul Slasher taunts the enemy for 20 seconds. That is so good. Instead of just 15 seconds or 20 seconds of taunt. Wow. 70% chance of removing 1 buff from the enemy. 1 buff from the enemy. Wow, that's good. That's good. That's good. I love it. Especially his last skill, that resilience, is really powerful. Okay, and his passive skill is so good. So good. Okay. Anyways, now let's move into our contestant number 3. Of course. In number 3, we have our Fire Heide, the Fallen Knight. the best servant so far, okay, one of the best servants so far in this game, who have been ruling in the PvP, making the PvP content so much easier for the players in the game. Why? Now let's look into his passive skill. The amount of damage received at once does not exceed 30% of max HP. Yes, for this skill to be active, passive skill to be active, you really don't need to taunt at all, okay? I mean, like, it's not taunt necessary, it's unconditional, and as long as you have Fire Heide in the team, right, he is gonna make sure that no damage shall pass through him 30% of his max HP. That is so cool, okay? Team passive, resist of all element allies increases by 55% at tower. Yes, it can be really good, okay? Resist, trying to make yourself resist to the silence is pretty important in the tower. Anyways, Karma, the combo skill, deals damage based on the enemy's max HP, which can be pretty surprising if you actually use his combo skill against a monster, or let's say an enemy who has a very high HP pool, okay? A lot HP he has or she has. This servant, Fire Heide, is gonna deal a massive amount of damage. It will shock you. Increases the glancing hit rate of the enemy for the 60 seconds when the caster is under attack. Yes, glancing hit rate is pretty good, right? I mean, you will be debuff. I mean, like, you will be immune to the debuffs, and you will be receiving less damage, right? So that is good. Very good combo skill, okay? And the second skill, Dharma Chakra, increases caster's defense for 60 seconds, level 5. Pretty good. Okay, and the first skill, Death March, taunts the enemy for 20 seconds. That is so good. 70% chance to reduce the enemy attack for 30 seconds by level 4. Yes, for a tank, with the enemy attack reduced, you can tank more, right? So that's really good. It's really with his passive skill that he's really here, right? I mean, like, that is so cool, without any sort of, you know, like conditions. He's just gonna make sure that it's gonna happen in that way, okay? So pretty cool unit, okay? Anyways, now let's move on to the number 2. In the number 2, we have Dark Lenore, Lady in Black. She is a dark unit and a tank. And now let's look at her passive skill. The amount of damage received at once does not exceed 30% of the max HP. Yeah, just like the Fire Heide. And she has bonus here. Bonus! Reduces received damage from the normal attacks by 70%. Wow, pretty awesome. And active skills by 30% during the taunt. So when she is in her taunt duration, that is with her fast skill, taunts the enemy for 15 seconds, increases glancing hit rate when attacked for 30 seconds by level 4. Pretty awesome, right? And when the taunt is active, 70% of the normal attack is reduced, and the active skills damage is reduced by 30% as well. So that is so cool. That is really cool. She can actually tank a lot of damage with that damage reduction going on. And her second skill, pretty simple and cliche, increases caster's defense for 60 seconds by level 5, okay? And with her combo skill, Crucifix, removes one debuff on all allies. Pretty good. 70% chance to reduce the enemy attack for 60 seconds by level 5. Pretty good, right? I mean, like, the lesser the attack the enemy has, the more lesser damage you are gonna take. That means you can tank more damage, right? And anyways, she has a lot of you know, the attack reduction going on right over here. 70% of the normal attack and 30% of this active skills damage. Wow, pretty good, right? I mean, like, she is a little bit like buffed up Fire Heide, right? Isn't she? And she is a dark unit on the top of that one, right? Making her really accessible for so many, you know, like playable for so many contents. Like, let's say Fire Heide is gonna lag behind in the Omen 11F because it's a water Omen, right? And he can actually deal a massive sort of damage to the water, I mean, like Fire Heide. But for the Dark Lenore, wherever she goes, she is gonna receive the same sort of damage. So that is so good, guys. That is so cool. Anyways, now let's move to our final contestant, number 1. In the number 1, it's no one other than the Light Valkyrja, or Akroma. I really don't know what Akroma means, but anyways, it looks okay. So she is a light unit and a tank servant. Yes, she is really wonderful. She is really wonderful. When you are thinking about her, you just have to stand up and salute in awe, okay, in awe. Anyways, let's start with the passive skill. The amount of damage received at once does not exceed 30% of the max HP. Wow, that is pretty good, right? And bonus, becomes immune to debuffs during the taunt. Wow. Wow, that is so cool. Okay, I mean, like, you will receive no sort of reduced defense, DOT skills from the enemy, and you are gonna just survive through. You are just gonna survive, bro. That is so cool. One of the OP passive skill for a tank. This is it. This is it. And the team passive, defense of all element allies increases by 57%. Oh my god. At PvP contents. Wow, that is so cool. 57% defense increase. Damn. Just get your defense based servant, and like DPS servant, okay? Like, let's say Fire Archangel, right? More the defense they have, the more damage they can deal. Just take them on. 57%. Wow, that is awesome. And the next one is the Sword of Promise. Now just look at that. She is like, she has the best skill out there in the game. Grants resilience to all allies for 15 seconds. With her passive skill and her combo skill, what else do you need? What else do you need? Grants resilience to all allies for 15 seconds. Wow, that's really cool. Okay, resilience meaning like your team is gonna stick to that 1 HP even though you are supposed to be dead by now, because damage that is greater than your HP has already been dealt. I mean, your remaining HP has already been dealt, and you are supposed to lie flat on the ground, but you are still out there fighting and waiting for your healer. Obviously, Fire Valkyries are right, one of the best healer in this game, and heal your team up to the full health again. So that is so cool, right? Yes, for 15 seconds you are invincible. 70% chance to silence the enemy. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Just look at that. Just look at that. Silence. Damn. For 15 seconds. Wow. That is so cool. Okay. That is really awesome. I mean, like, obviously if you are gonna max this skill out, I think it's gonna extend up to like 30 seconds. Okay. So that is really cool. That is really cool. Silence. Wow. I mean, like, during the silence, your opponent is not gonna be able to use any sort of skill, okay? Any sort of skill. Just the normal attack. It's gonna be really helpful during the battles against, like, the opponents who are really using a lot of, casting a lot of buffs on themselves. And then, their main skill can hurt you a real bad. Then just cast this skill up, okay? Really good. And the second skill. Increases caster's defense for 60 seconds by level 5. Pretty good. Cliche. Yes, good. And the fast skill, Heir of Light. Increases caster's skill gauge by 10%. This alone also makes her so speedy character, guys. Skill gauge referring to the fast skill, second skill, and the combo gauge. Combo skill. So that is so cool. By 10%. Wow. Whenever she is using her fast skill, yes, taunts the enemy for 20 seconds. Wow. I mean, like, she has the perfect, stats as that of a tank, okay? I mean, like, her skills are really a combination, a perfect mixture and combination of the best tanks out there in the game. With passive skill, limiting the damage that she receives at a time to 30% of the max HP. Pretty good, right? Becomes immune to the debuffs during the taunt. Damn it. That is so cool. And with the combo skill, grants resilience to all allies for 15 seconds. That is really good. 70% chance to silence the enemy for 15 seconds. Oh my god, hands down. And the fast skill, increases caster's skill gauge by 10%. Wow. Taunts the enemy for 20 seconds. Damn it. What else do you need? And with the team passive, defense of all element allies increases by whopping 57%. Wow. I mean, just take her into the PvP and have sort of defense based servants in your team and just spam it, okay? Just spam it. 57% is no joke. Oh my god, that is so cool. And on top of that one, she is a light unit, right? She's a light unit. So she will have more bonus stats that she is gonna receive when you transcend her, when you awaken her. And yes, you know, like she is gonna be viable in all these sort of like you know, like dungeons or whatever the content out there. Because let's say if you're taking the fire, he is gonna have a very hard time against the omen dungeon 11F, right? Because the omen is the water element and he can actually receive more damage. But except for that one, you know, like I mean, like when we are talking about the light Valkyrja, see, it's just something else, okay? I mean, like, if you guys just happen to get her, rejoice! Rejoice! Okay, just rejoice. So, this is it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed my list. And you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button to keep on enjoying the contents of my channel. And please leave your views and opinions in the comment section below, as I would really love to communicate with you guys. Please let me know your views and opinions, guys. Please, please, please. And please try to donate, okay, to help improve this channel. I would really appreciate it. And now see you guys in the next video.